walking with a minimum 75 pounds every day, what it'll do to your knees on, contractor quality boots, higher lowest bidder boots.
Wow. Now, how long were you there?
My first one was 12.
Okay.
A full-blown 12. We did not come home a day earlier than we left, full-blown 12 months. And then the second one, which happened roughly 14 months later, was a 9, closer to 8.5 months deployment.
Okay. So
all in all, it's about 21 months if you count travel.
Okay. Now, did you get out due to injury, or did you get out because you were done?
Well, yeah, I was medically retired, and it wasn't from any of my physical injuries.
Okay.
I was medically retired for PTSD, and it's something that I had known about. My wife had known about. We all were under the understanding that I probably had PTSD, but it wasn't until the military. I want to say the Army, that's the branch I was in, but I think it's military in a whole made a very drastic shift to cater to the current environment in society that all of these PTSD symptoms really came to a head.
Okay. I mean, do you feel like your issues, your injuries, and maybe some of that PTSD? Do you blame the job, or do you feel like it was a good choice to do what you did? Because we all here think it's a good choice. That most people that I know think it's a good choice that you're there fighting fighting for our country. But there's a lot of ramifications for what you did. A lot of guys are coming back with PTSD. So do you have any? You don't have any loss. You don't have any hate for the United States. I would assume.
None at all. No.
Okay.
As a matter, I don't know. Personally, I don't know a vet that does. It's kind of like, you know what's going in, that's the outcome to be. You sign a check up to the amount of your life. You sign yourself over to the government. I don't have any anger or hatred towards it. I knew what the consequences of my actions were going to be. There's multiple routes. Hey, I was at West Point. I could have rode 3, maybe 4 or 5 years at West Point doing strictly law enforcement, and I chose to go back to the line unit to deploy again. So. Oh,
wow, that's awesome.
Most vets, anyone really that likes or enjoys the combat aspect of the military, they know exactly, what the consequences could be.
When you were over there, obviously we're over there fighting for a cause. Your interactions with the Afghan people, what's your opinion of them?
It's hit or miss, honestly. And it's kind of just like it is over here in the States, really. When you interact with anybody, you can kind of tell when someone's bullshitting you. But there were also times where genuine conversations were had, we were genuinely thanked multiple times. We were fed on the day. We could go really to any Afghan police station we wanted, and we were guaranteed chai and bread as much as we could eat. So while they made you feel welcome, some of them were shady, and it just really depended on how well they were acting.
Man, I couldn't imagine just never knowing if this person's going to be nice or if there's somebody that's a part of the Taliban or Al-Qaeda or whatever.
I would have to admit, I don't think I'd have. I hate to admit my cowardice, but I don't know if I could handle that. That'd be tough to try to trust and try to help.
Get used to it.
Oh, I tell you what. I give a lot of credit to you guys and what you guys have done.
It's kind of like a situation where the guy shaking your hand when the sun was up. It's like the guy shaking your hand saying he'd work with you is the same guy digging holes and burying IEDs at night.
Wow.
But you've also got to see where they're coming from. Afghanistan's a very poor country, and people will really do anything for money. So take the Afghan police, for example. The lowest level Afghan policeman is supposed to make X amount of dollars, but his chief, the money comes down from the government. The chief has to take his cut, and then the policeman's boss, the first line supervisor, has to take his cut. And by the time he's getting, he gets maybe a third of his paycheck. And then all of a sudden, the guy from the Taliban comes along and says, "I'll feed your family for 3 weeks if you just go give me a call and tell me when they turn right on this road.
Jeez.
Dang.
You kind of got to think,
Yeah, man. Now, and you had, I'm sure you have a lot of close friends from your time there. Did you have any close friends that you lost due to IEDs or anything like that?
Yeah, we lost one guy. I'm one of the fortunate ones that really, when it comes to loss of life, we only lost one guy in both of my deployments. Now, the guy was, by all rights, a genius. He composed his own music, and he was our guide on there. He was high PT score, PT stud, qualified expert on all that. He was the soldier, and we lost him due to an IED.
Wow.
Sad.
This guy, well, matter of fact, he was the first openly gay soldier killed in Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was open about it, but he wasn't flamboyant like you would think. He was a man's man, and
that's awesome. That's great.
He lost his life on a dismounted patrol one day.
Wow.
Now, you watch movies and you see all sorts of things. Did you guys have to deal with the media much? I know it's kind of died down and the media is not that much in Afghanistan, but did you guys have to be trained, or did you guys get your lessons or I forget what your instruction about how to deal with the media at any point in time? Or
I can barely understand that. You're going to have to relay for me.
Oh, sorry about that. Sometimes I know when I watch movies, they do this, they show the media having a lot of effect over there. I don't know how much it's since it's kind of died down, but did you guys have to go through any type of instruction on how to talk to media if you came across them or not?
You're talking about the media?
Yeah, the media.
Yeah, so when you get in the country, sometimes they do it before you get in the country. You go through an actual block of instruction on how to treat media, what you can and cannot say. I think the movies tend to beef it up a bit because it's a lot more boring than what the movies make it seem. It's really just told, don't avoid them if you can, not blatantly avoid them, but don't go out of your way to talk to them. And then if they do get you cornered and you go in and talk to them, be honest. Don't be too honest, if that makes sense.
I completely understand that.
And there's kind of an unwritten rule in the military that if you're doing an interview and you're talking to someone outside of your direct support channel and you've got anything negative to say, you're better off keeping it to yourself. But the ramifications are often, they're not good in your part, if that makes sense.
Well, I think that's smart because I could remember when, I saw old videos and old historical movies about military where they didn't really tell a whole lot about where people were, where they were stationed. I think that's smart national security. And then when Desert Storm came in, they'd show way too much on CNN where people were deployed, where there was hot action, like live. I think that's crazy.
CNN killed us.
I know. I think it's horrible. Do you agree? They just pretty much exposed, information technologies just exposes people. There's some things people don't need to know.
Yeah, I wasn't even allowed to tell my wife, when we were going out on patrol. If I was on the phone and something happened, it was either hang up or say, hey, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
There were times I'd be talking to the wife on the phone, and we would take pop shots, what we call, we'd get shot at from an unknown direction. And I just had to tell her, hey, I got to go, we'd get called out to an IED, and hey, I got to go.
No, I bet it drove her nuts. And I don't know, how did she handle that stuff? When you got back, did she tell you how she felt about those situations where, like, oh my gosh, is he going to die in 2 minutes or 5 minutes? It's got to be crazy. It drives. I would think spouses would have PTSD over worrying. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think after the first 2 times for a soldier or a troop, after the first 3 times, it becomes routine. You don't really think, oh, shit, I'm getting shot. You think, how am I going to respond? Steps A, B, and C, that's what I got to do. And I think, to an extent, it gets the same for spouses that after the first 2 times, it's almost like you build up a tolerance, if that makes sense.
Oh, I'm sure. But I'm curious about, we only see what we see on TV as much as anything over here. But I'm curious, how much contact did you have with your spouse while you were over there? Was it fairly easy or was it not easy? You only
how
had certain
much contact
times?
did I have with my spouse?
Yes.
Okay, so where I was at, we lived with Afghan police naturally, so a lot of guys had internet. We didn't have it. Are you guys talking?
No, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, so we weren't lucky enough to have the internet, but we did have 2 phones that we could make calls on, and they also had Afghan cell phones. They were called Roshan phones. I think it was up there. So we talked. I mean, if I could call them on the free phone, I would send emails and stuff, or if something crazy came up, I would make a call on the cell phone. The day we lost Bullpark, I called it before they took the phone away. I said, something bad happened. They're taking our phone. They'll hear from me next time I call. So emergencies, we could talk, and if I had to, I could use the cell phone.
Okay. How much did you guys have to deal with training any of the Afghans for their own security?
Yeah, I can't. You're not cutting out. You're just way distant.
I think I'm far away from the phone on that part. I was curious on how much interaction you had with the Afghan security. They were trying to – I know that one of the big ideas was for us to be training them to help get them prepared. So how much training did you have to do with any of the Afghan security forces?
Well, and that was the point of us living with the Afghan police, was to maximize training time. And the intent was there. We went in with an open mind. We went in enthusiastic about working with them, training them, getting them trained up without suspicion. And on paper, it looks really good, but on paper, you're not taking into account how many IEDs you have to respond to, and that's minimum 2 hours.
Wow.
Minimum 2 hours sitting on an IED, and you have to pull your own security. So at any given time, you've got 6 people that are tied up, 4-hour blocks of time, just pulling security in a tower, and one guy working a radio. And then you've got an entire squad, so 12 to 15 people on call in case anything pops off. So after you calculated all that, you've got maybe 2 or 3 guys that can do training.
Wow. Now, do you miss it like let's say you got out of high school football with Adamson. Do you miss it like that, the camaraderie, the brotherhood? Do you miss it kind of like high school football or no?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The military is a bond. You form bonds that are lifelong. I could run into a guy that I hadn't seen in 8 years, and we'd take off like it was yesterday. Do I miss it? To an extent, I have my days where I really miss it. And it might transition, it might not, but Jeff Adamson allowing me to work on the football team has really filled that void a lot right now.
See, that's what I was going to ask you, too, to make it a lighter note. I mean, I've been in Grant County all my life, and Doug's an Eastbrook graduate. But I'm telling you what, but that son of a bitch is a hell of a coach. And, I mean, what's it like coaching with him different than playing for him? What's it like now, working for him?
As far as expectations go, I honestly feel like expectations are higher for coaches than on players. And my wife can attest to this. Eastbrook football is a 7-day-a-week commitment. 7 days. Yeah. I mean, there's not a day that we don't meet and at least talk. But on the flip side, you can see that Jeff, he really has a sense of humor, and he likes to joke and play, but he only jokes and plays and once football is taken care of, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
My oldest and my middle son, they get off the bus from elementary to high school, and they come to every practice. Last week, one of my kids, Jeff, walked in, and my middle son said, "You've always got a smile on your face." Jeff just looked at me and said, "I'm always happy, man." So
that's awesome.
That's one thing as a coach and a former player that, you really notice the difference between a player. 95% of the time you see the serious side, and occasionally you'll see him crack a smile or crack a joke, but in terms of practice and games, he's about his football.
Yeah, and he's so successful. I'm sure he's had tons of offers to go somewhere else. And I've talked to like you and other people that I know played for him, and they'll always say, well, he likes what he's doing. And he knows what's good for him. He knows the grass may not be always greener on the other side, But I mean, he's had
There's been
a hell
rumors
of a
for
career.
years, man, that